Centeno, and I'm going to take a look today at some interesting images of a guy who was born without the back of his atlas. We call that agenesis of the posterior arch of the atlas. And you can see here on the CT scan that this is the front of the atlas, or C1, this is the dens, and then back here where we should see the back of his atlas, we really don't see that. We see this little teeny tiny bone there, and if we go over a couple more slices, we can see some areas where there's almost no bone. So what are the implications of this, right? Well, the first thing is that this is where the rectus capitis posterior minor muscle would attach, and that goes from the skull to the back of the atlas. That's also the muscle that jacks into the dura, meaning the covering of the brain. So that muscle here is not going to be able to have the same biomechanical advantage as if there was bone here. So it's going to set him up for potentially some upper cervical problems. And if we look here on his imaging, we can see a very small, thin rectus capitis posterior minor. That makes sense. It doesn't really have much to attach to. Again, a very small, thin rectus capitis posterior minor. So all things being equal, he has a couple other things going on, right? One of those things is he has atrophy of the upper neck muscles. Well, that's not good because the midline upper neck muscles really are underdeveloped. That's that rectus capitis posterior minor. He's got a little traction spur getting pulled off here where the apical ligament attaches. And you can see this is his apical ligament on his MRI. He's got CTE or Chiari0. By itself, it doesn't mean a lot, but if you add a little instability in here, it's just gasoline on the bonfire of symptoms. He's got some swelling in the upper cervical bursa, and then his dens is shifted all the way over to the right, indicating that there could be some laxity in the left alar ligament. So he's going to get worked up for upper cervical instability or cranio-cervical instability. But I did want to bring up this agenesis of the posterior arch because, again, there's an important muscle that attaches there. And so patients with this issue are not going to have the same muscle attachment, and that muscle is going to be underdeveloped, making the head on the neck more intrinsically unstable because it's not going to have the same type of beefy rectus capitis posterior minor muscle that you and I have to help stabilize the bowling ball on the top of the neck. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Hey, get this content out to more patients. Like, share, subscribe, comment.